Family is important. We've realised this big time, haven't we, over the last few days, as many people have been putting off partying with or even meeting with friends in order to safeguard Christmas with family. And Friday just gone, which is usually a frenzy of Christmas shopping by day and revelling by night, was apparently extraordinarily quiet in many places across the country. Faced with a choice between being out and about and being able to enjoy a family Christmas, people have clearly been prioritising in favour of family. And it's in the context of all of this that we revisit Luke's account of Mary's family visit to her relative Elizabeth in the Judean hill country. Hot on the heels of the angel Gabriel's visitation to Mary, which must have been extraordinarily unsettling as well as thrilling, Mary does what many of us do when we have dramatic news, namely, we seek sanctuary in the bosom of family. On one level, it's a touching encounter between two women united in the turbulence of unexpected pregnancy. On the one hand, we have the older woman, Elizabeth, who had long given up any hope of having children. And on the other, we have the younger woman, Mary, pregnant long before she expected to be. Both, in their own way, would have been the subject of much gossip and even scandal, and so in the company of one another, they would have found much comfort and solidarity. But of course, something far larger is also going on here. Both women, and apparently also Elizabeth's baby, John the Baptist, are caught up, it seems, in the excitement of seeing God's plan for the whole world unfurling before their very eyes and within their own family circumstances. John the Baptist leaps in the womb. Elizabeth is filled with the Holy Spirit and recognizes Mary as the mother of her Lord. And then Mary herself bursts into that ecstatic song of praise that is commonly known by the name Magnificat. My soul magnifies the Lord. To paraphrase C.S. Lewis, with reference to Mary especially, the whole of human history narrows and narrows to a single point: a Jewish girl at her prayers. It's 6 days before Christmas, and yet never has Christmas felt so far away. Quite frankly, who knows whether we will be meeting up with other households or not. But the stories of Mary and Elizabeth remind us that God moves powerfully at a domestic level. Indeed, could it be that God moves most powerfully at a domestic level? Far too often, I feel, we are tempted to think and pray as if God moves primarily at a political level, shaping the events of the world through its great leaders and powerful empires. But if there is one thing the Christmas story reminds us about, if there's one thing that the Christmas story brings us up short once again about, it's that God is far more likely to be discovered moving at the level of our own little lives, our own little families, our own little communities. But you, O Bethlehem of Ephrathah, proclaims the prophet in our first reading, who are one of the little clans of Judah. From you shall come forth for me one who is to rule in Israel, whose origin is from old, from ancient days. Or to quote the great wizard Gandalf in the Hobbit movies, and I've quoted this before and I never tire of quoting it. Some believe it is only great power that can hold evil in check. But that is not what I have found. It is the small, everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay. Small acts of kindness and love. So, whatever you end up doing or not doing with family this Christmas, look still for what God is doing. Look still for how God is moving. We may not be Mary or Elizabeth, nor have Marys or Elizabeths in our family, but it is ordinary people, people we know and love, who might just be working with God to change the world. Amen.